in that second half especially, we had to really kind of be playing catch up, and we got ourselves in a position where we had a chance to take a lead on a drive, and we give up a sack, the only sack of the game. And that was very unfortunate, obviously. So there's still little details that we have to get better at. For the most part, the O-line played well, but there's still things we have to fix, right? Like, I think we have to be better as an offense on first down. We got to have more positive first down, so it's, because our offense is explosive, we all know that, and it's just like any other offense, but ours especially, I feel like we get that first down, we get rolling, it's tough to stop. So that's kind of what I saw in a nutshell.
What'd you see on film on the play where Pritchard gave up the strip sack?
You know, I'll tell you, the play before, right, we had a good pocket, good catch, and we were getting ready to go tempo. One of their kids came by and kind of gave an elbow to our quarterback. So one of our O-linemen runs over there. Then another O-lineman runs over there. We're trying to go tempo. So then all of a sudden we're trying to get lined up, go fast. He takes a bad set and gets beat. And the part I told him that disappointed me the most is, man, he's not the first guy to give a sack. Ain't going to be the last. But, like, man, when you hit the ground getting up. Because if he gets up and he's chasing, maybe he falls on the ball, right? And maybe we live another day. So, but everything has, a consequence. Like, if we just would have ran to the ball and got set, probably wouldn't have happened, right? So again, we got to understand the situation. Yes, we want to protect the quarterback, take care of the quarterback. He's a big boy. Nothing crazy happened. Let's get lined up, play the next play.
For Jaden in his situation with Gino coming into the game, how has he handled that, and just how overall would you say he's played so far this year?
No, it's good. J-Rob is one of my favorite people in the world, and he is going through a lot. Like, he's in pain on a daily basis, and you don't have to be a doctor to see that when you're watching him move around. And he's playing through some things that I don't know most people would. And so we know we got to give him, a series here and there to kind of let him just get his body feeling a little better, take a breath and go. So he's good with it. We kind of work together. How you feeling? What do we need to do here? And Gino has filled in for him and done a good job, so that's been helpful as well.
I know Jaden, he had the hand thing in the summer. Is this in addition to that?
There's a few things, okay. Yes. So
I saw him limping.
Yeah, he's dealing with a few things. So we just, he's living in the training room, doing everything he can do, and hopefully he'll start to feel better soon.
I know. I'm sure you've run into your share of guys who live in the training room. Every once in a while they live in the tub. You've seen that.
Yep.
But when you have a guy like Jaden who's not gonna be like, I got this, I got that, is it hard sometimes to even recognize that there's a physical issue there?
I think I can recognize it. It's just that he's not going to look for a place to hide. So I have to do a job as a coach to protect him sometimes and know what's best for him and the team. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's mature enough that he understands that as well. And it's been a situation that's worked well together. There's not any issues with it.
Coach Sheridan mentioned the other day that one of the decisions one of the things that went into playing Gino was just how he performed in practice. Where have you seen and what have you seen from him in that?
Yeah, he's done a good job since he's been here. He's practiced well. He's played all three spots inside, which is valuable. And so he's earned the right to be able to go on the field to where we feel like when he's out there we can function as an offense and do things we need to do. And obviously when we have a guy that's banged up, then we need him to be ready to go, and he's been able to answer the bell to this point.
You get to see Book up close. How does he handle this week as a captain, as a veteran?
Because he's the guy, right? I mean, as a coach, you run your room, but the presence of guys like him, really, it's hard to really even measure, the impact he has. And he's been on point since the game ended. Me and him talked right as they took their last knee. We talked about what we got to do this week. We were on the same page, and it was going to need to take both of us to make sure that we did the right things this week to get where we need to go. And he's been awesome, this week, and encouraging guys and holding them accountable and doing the things you got to do to be a leader.
Caden Proctor continues to look more comfortable as he returns. He's like his maybe third, fourth game back. Can you just talk about his progress and how he's looked to you so far?
I think that I have seen improvement from him. I think for him in the pass pro world, it was really some technical issues that he continues to work on, and he's obviously a very big human that can move well, and so when he gets himself in good positions, he can be successful. And then, I'm pushing him to be even more dominant in the run game than he is, and he's showing some real flashes of that. So I like that he comes to work every day and really works hard, and so he wants to get better. I think he feels like he's getting better, and so that's even motivating him even more.
There's a lot of big-time blockers in the tight end room. How much do they help your unit?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but it's big. What you're doing offensively. Everybody thinks run game. First thing we're going to focus on is O-line, which is the way it should be, right? But when you're doing certain things, in the inside zone world where you got to have tight ends blocking D-ends, or if you're running gap schemes, you need a tight end to block with the tackle or on their own. It's critical to have those guys. And I've been in offense before. We've tried to do those things, and we didn't have those physical tight ends, and it's tough to do. So those guys they're a huge part of any success we have in the run game for sure.
Sorry if you've already been asked this, but South Carolina's shown multiple defensive fronts this year. What have you seen from them on film? What do you anticipate they're going to bring?
Yeah, I think they do show multiple fronts. They move around a lot of games inside, and they got 2 premier pass rushers on the edges. And even when the guys that come in from them, they do a good job. And I would say they probably have the best interior pass rusher, one of the kids that we've seen this year. Their backers are downhill. They run. They are a fast, aggressive, and try to play violent, and they do a really good job with what they're supposed to do there. I saw a PFF thing where they said the D-line was number 1 D-line in the country. We have a challenge ahead of us, and we've been working hard, and so, I'm kind of anxious to see how we match up. There's some things that we got to handle with the movements and different things like that, and then at some point it's going to be guys are going to have to win their box and win their one-on-one battles.
How challenging is penetration, dealing with penetration in the run game?
Well, it's, that's the number 1 way to stop anything on offense. So we got, like I said, sometimes if it's penetration just on them playing a base defense, then you think you're going to be good if you got good players, right? But when you start talking about all the movement that they're giving you, then it's going to be, do our guys start becoming hesitant because of it, and then that forces us to play higher, slower, softer, which you don't want. So they got to really understand what's trying to happen. And like I said, if you're going to make a mistake this week, be fast and violent with it. And let's move on. That's why we got tablets now. We can go through it, correct on the sideline, and move on to the next play. I don't want us to play hesitant.
We see those PFF grades, and a lot of times it's the only way we know how to judge you guys. How accurate are they, and how much do they stack up with y'all's grades?
I feel like PFF sometimes is a great mystery. I think sometimes, I guess for me it's hard when you're grading an O-lineman and you don't really know what's being taught or the scheme. I think that would be hard for them as well. So they're doing the best they can. I've coached a lot of great players, and I grade my guys hard, and I have a hard time thinking there's anybody grading higher than Tyler Booker this season. And I think I saw something that had like top 20 guys or something. He wasn't on there. So to me, that's ludicrous, right? But I'm not going to take away from what they're doing. They're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it, right? It's just about our guys doing their job and understand what we're trying to accomplish.
Last 2.
Yeah, again, sorry you've been asked this, but as far as you talk about looking at the tablets, going back and working with guys, what were some of the coaching points to Elijah Pritchett after that play that the fumble resulted in?
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. What happened was we had a successful play to play before. One of the kids from Vanderbilt kind of gave an elbow to Milrow on the way back. So then one lineman runs over there. Then another lineman, which Pritchett was one of them, runs over there with maybe the right intentions, but the wrong time. We're trying to go fast. So now we're getting lined up late. We're trying to push the snap. He takes a poor set, and he gets beat. And that's what happens in the O-line world, especially a tackle. It don't take much. It's a fine line of getting beat for a sack. And, we didn't have a sack the whole game. There's a few pressures there. But, man, if you're just late or you do something wrong. And then my thing for him is, like, when he kind of overextended, fell down, like, you're hitting the ground, getting up. And maybe you're chasing back to the pocket, maybe you fall on the ball, right? And now we live another day. So there were some things to learn from that, no question.
Is there a way to simulate that chippiness in practice? Do you guys kind of maybe try to get under your lineman's skin to kind of test their discipline in moments like that, or can you do that?
Well, I'm under their skin a lot, so that's not an issue. I'm sure. I have no problem irritating them, but we're trying to get, that's where you want your scout team guys, your defensive look team, to get if the O-line is mad at the scout team D-line, or the D-line is mad at scout team line, that means you're doing a great job. So there should be some of that, right? And it just comes down to being disciplined and understanding what the situation is. We're behind. It's in the fourth quarter. We're going fast. Let's get lined up, play the next play. That's all it comes down to.
Thank you.
Thanks.